We are talking about imaginary numbers or lateral numbers, and we want to add and subtract complex numbers. Complex numbers are a combination of real and imaginary numbers. And when we look at this, we have 3 plus 5i plus 2 plus 4i. And when we think about this, we can actually think about this variable or this I as a variable. So we could think about this if we rewrote it as 3 plus 5x plus 2 plus 4x. So we're going to treat it the same way as we would any other variable. We can only add the x's together, and we can only add the constants together. So here we have 5x and 4x. That's going to be 9x. And here we have 3 and 2. So that's going to be 5. And then that is as far as we can get. We can't bring a constant and a variable together. So we just leave it as 5 plus 9x. It's going to be the same thing when we combine these. So we have our constants. We have a 3 and a 2. So 3 plus 2. And then we have a 5i and a 4i. And we can only bring those, and we can only add those together. So 3 plus 2 is 5 plus 9i. So we're just basically treating these like variables and constants. Can do the same thing here. The first thing we have to do is we have to distribute the negative into the second parentheses. So we get 3 minus 6i minus 3 plus 7i. So we have a positive 3 and we have a negative 3. So those cancel each other out. And then we have a negative 6i and a positive 7i. So negative 6 plus 7 is 1. So we're left with just 1i or I. Down here, we have another example, and we can just rewrite this without the parentheses. So we have 3 minus 5i plus 4 plus 6i. And then we have a positive 3 and a positive 4. So that gives us 7. And then we have a negative 5i and a positive 6i. So negative 5i or negative 5 plus 6 is 1. So we have 1i, or we can say plus I. And that is simplified as we can get. And then here we have an example where we're going to multiply. Anytime we have a binomial squared, what we have to do is we have to write it twice. So we have to write it as 3 minus 7i times 3 minus 7i. And then what we have to do is we have to distribute to each part. So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative 7i is negative 21i. Then we have the negative 7 times 3 is negative 21i. And negative 7i times negative 7i is positive 49i squared. Now, if we remember I squared, that is equal to negative 1. So we can rewrite this. We have two terms, negative 21i and negative 21i. We can add those together. So the first thing is we have the 9 out front, and then negative 21i and negative 21i becomes negative 42i, and then 49 multiplied by negative 1, or we'll just write it down as plus 49, and then we know that I squared is equal to negative 1. So then we write down negative 1, and then we can say 9 minus 42i minus 49, and then we have two terms left that we have in common. We have 9 minus 49, so that becomes negative 40 minus 42i.